Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And hope you had a great Easter weekend. And we appreciate you if you can say hello and come on with us this morning as you get your notifications. And yeah, let's see. Who's going to come up number one on my hit parade this morning? Guess what, Nativity? You're number one. Sandy in Fergus Falls, Minnesota, and Andrea right at the top from Niagara Falls. Rosalinda right at the top. Lisa, good morning. Sandy from Chilliwack, British Columbia, and Janice from Brampton. Good morning to you. And Rosa from Montreal. Nellie, how are you? And Brahim, there you are. Marla, good morning from Oregon. Karen, Peterborough. Yvonne, Petawawa, how is ya? Patricia from Florida. And Cheryl, West Virginia. And Carol from West Virginia, well represented. Maureen's on with from Boca Raton, Florida. Dave, how are you? And Fran from Orangeville, good morning. Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Wendy from Markham. And Brahim saying going to be 79 degrees there. My word. Out in, hi Janice from Kingston. Darlene from Alberta, Etta. How are you? Irene from Chrysler. Sherry from Mississauga. Danny Lay. Iron Bridge. Francis, I'm just reading some of the comments. Douglas, Wendy from Aylmer, and Mary from Cape Breton. John and Linda, they're in Fenland Falls. Karen, sunny Coldwater. Marcy, I can call you Fathead if you want, Marcy. Lori, Gary, Elaine, St. John's, Newfoundland, good morning. Hi, Dave. Dave and Helga in Gilmore. Kathy, Port Perry, Ontario. John, our friend from Elgin, Illinois. Dennis from Norwich. Patricia from Sudbury. Marlis in Manitoba. Kristen. And with Cindy, Diane, Millica, Stouffville, Judy, Port Perry, and Bertha, New York. Doris, how are you? From Kitchener. Loretta, Stephenville, Newfoundland. How is you? Lisa Marie, Teresa from Dunedin, Florida. And Chase in Rouen, Naranda, Quebec. Julie, Madalena, Laval, Quebec. Bruno, Catherine, Springdale, Newfoundland. Dave, Muskoka. Okay. Yeah, we don't quite have that. Linda, we love those Lindas. And Darcy is saying hello from Wisconsin. Yeah, where's the mayor? Is he taking a day off today? Kevin, Anna, Trish, Wanda from Virginia, Alice, Labrador, Laos, Olu, Labrador, John from Owen Sound, Margaret Lakelet, Amanda, how are you, Amanda? And Gail, and Sandy, Vancouver, Washington. Okay, two more. Lise, bonjour, Donna, and Gwen. Three more. Okay, let's get back to our questions. Hi, Jeanette. How are you? Okay, questions. Let's try and finish up from Friday here. And let me see. Come on. I want to see this because where are those questions? I knew I had them on my, hold on a minute now. Serpa, what am I getting? I don't know why they haven't come up. Hold on. I think I just got to get out of here again. And, okay. I can sort of remember some of the questions, but I'm just wondering why they're not showing up on my iPad here. Because I just looked at them. Inbox. Sorry, guys, for the... I just can't see them. They wouldn't be in my trash, would they? Okay. I just looked at these things, guys, a minute ago, but not on my iPad. Here I'm using my camera, and I could get them if I... Okay, let me just see here. Yeah, I can't see them on my iPad. Why is that? Holy smokes. Okay, I'm going to try one more thing, and if it doesn't, I might have to go out and come back in. All mail. I know I didn't erase them. I don't know. Okay, guys, if you would bear with me, I am going to check out, and I'm going to come right back on, because I got to resend these questions to my device here, because I cannot, hold on a minute, I got to look one more time. My word. Okay, let me open up again one more, just try it one more time here. Gmail. Why is that? I don't understand it. Yep, I can't understand it. Guys, I'm going to check out. I'm going to come right back. Okay? Bear with me. I'll come right back. You'll get your notifications again. Sorry to have to do this. Unless I made some notes here. Okay, let me do a couple. Let's see if I'm going to fool around with this. Okay, so someone asked, okay, now I don't have your name. Because I just wrote a few questions down. I'm glad I wrote some of them down. Okay, one was asking about plasma. And can I donate plasma? Okay, yeah, okay. Because plasma is different than just donating, a regular blood donation. But plasma can be very effective in saving people's lives, especially if they have a rare disorder. And one thing about plasma, it's mostly water. It's got to be 90-something% water. So you know what that means? You can do it more often. And they use those clotting factors in the plasma and whatever for people with, oftentimes rare conditions or rare cancers. And you get longer shelf life with plasma. So, yeah, if you want to donate plasma, go for it. And, I've recommended people, especially with high ferritin or whatever, to go give blood, okay, in a condition called hemochromatosis. And, it's not a bad idea. So, but the plasma, yeah, for sure, okay. Somebody else was asking, okay, as I continue to go through I want to scream this morning. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can do this. Another one was asking, sorry if I don't have your names, okay? Someone was asking about DMSO. And should you be taking it as a supplement? Nope. I don't recommend that. Now, I like DMSO, what it does is it delivers You get rapid crossing the skin barrier with it. And I know in medicine, they'll use it therapeutically to, where did I see them using interstitial cystitis, which I answered a question about that the other day on interstitial cystitis. Pain in the bladder, almost exclusively in women. And they'll use that DMSO in a treatment with interstitial cystitis. But for the lay person or whatever, no, you don't have to take that. And usually you'll get an industrial grade, not a pharmaceutical grade. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend you take it. Again, it sort of got hot. This is, 25 years ago, maybe less than that. But, I got asked that on my radio show, and, somebody said it's the best thing since sliced bread. No, I never saw that in my practice, and, people didn't know how to use it, and I wasn't big on it right out of the gate. And it sort of waned. I haven't even heard about DMSO in quite a bit. Nobody's even asked me about it, and I can't say that I've even come across any studies recently on it. So no, I don't recommend it. You don't need it. Unless you know something that I don't. Okay. Another question got asked about, somebody was asking about, Dr. Martin, what do you think about Ray Peat's, carrot salad for getting rid of estrogen dominance? Well, to be honest, like what is it in there that would get rid of extra estrogen? Fiber. It's probably a loaded fiber salad. And I don't know. I'm not saying I'm against it. I just know I have no experience to tell you whether it's good. To me, getting rid of extra estrogen doesn't necessarily happen. I like DIM better. Okay. And DIM is an extract from broccoli. The problem with broccoli, and I love broccoli, is that you got to eat a bushel of it to get the amount you would in a supplement, in a DIM supplement. Guys, this is one of the reasons I like flaxseed, because flaxseed has a lot of lignans, and lignans and DIM, they take out the extra estrogen in your body. Does Ray Peat, P-E-A-T, right? I read some of his stuff. I got no issue. I mean, does that particular carrot salad do it? I'd never heard of it, to be honest with you. And, I'll tell you one thing about DIM, and I could prove it because I used to measure estrogen. And I used to have a scan in practice that actually showed estrogen on your skin. It was incredible, men and women, but mostly women, of course. But men had a lot of estrogen too, and they shouldn't. And you got factors like xenoestrogens, like almost every chemical mimics estrogen. And so you want to wipe that out because your body needs, you need balance between estrogen and progesterone. They got to be balanced. So that's why, again, I like DIM. I showed that in thousands of cases, that with DIM, I could actually prove it to you. I could prove it to you. lowered the estrogen. And like I said, I used to have a scan, which was very useful to look at estrogen. And women, some men, women, they had like leper spots all over their body, especially in their breast area. Very dangerous. Estrogen is a growth hormone. It makes you a woman, and it makes men women too. But you don't want too much of it. And we live in a world where there's way too much estrogen. And I know they talk about like HRT therapy and giving estrogen. I was never a fan of that. We already got too much breast cancer. In men, we already got too much prostate cancer. We already got too much ovarian cancer. We already got too much uterine cancer. These are cancers where estrogen is involved. You want to dim it out. So, repeats, carrot salad, hey, go for it. But does it actually lower estrogen? That I'm not sure of. Okay, so I don't want to be negative, but I think I get the idea. It's not so much the carrot, it's the fiber. And that's brushing away the extra estrogen. To me, fiber's overrated, but again, I don't want to be negative, okay? Am I getting this? Let me have one more look. I just don't know what's coming up on my... Oh, I didn't trash it. So hold on here. No, I'm way back into, I don't. I can't get, I'm so far back in this. Okay, let's see if I remember any more. So there was the repeat. And I remember talking about plasma, asking a question about plasma. Oh, a woman, I think she's in her 70s. She asked me about edema because she'd got swelling in her ankles. And why, she's asking. Well, a couple of reasons, possibly, okay? Kidneys, there may be dehydration involved. And the body's holding on to fluids. They'll show up in your ankles. You may have some type of vascular disorder. You were asking about, in the same question, you were asking about veins, or not veins, but arteries that you were seeing superficial in your legs. Look, you may have a vascular condition. There's a lot of things, okay, with swelling of the ankles because... Yeah, I've seen it in people that had congestive heart failure. Kidneys or heart, dehydration, circulation. Those are the things I would look for, okay? And then I remember, it's funny because it was also about circulation, and I wish I had your names, okay? I should have checked my iPad before I got started. Anywho, I had it on Friday. They were asking about her husband, sores, oozing sores in the legs. And it feels like he's drowning in his fluid. And I can't remember, there was more detail than that. But at the end of the day, like from what I read in that question, the question, why, I mean, to me, from the sounds of it, there's definitely congestive heart failure. And you got big time circulation problems. And I can't remember if he was a diabetic or not. Diabetic ulcers rarely heal if that's what's going on there. And again, guys, I bring you back to the premise, okay? The premise is really important. Sugar destroys blood vessels. It's so toxic. And the way I always used to say it on my radio show for years is, if you don't believe me, ask a diabetic. Because guess what diabetics have trouble with? Right? Circulation. That's why they're so much more susceptible to blindness. They're so much more susceptible to heart attacks. They're so much more susceptible to strokes. They're so much more susceptible to kidney. Why do you think there's so many dialysis places in North America compared to what there used to be? Diabetes. Sugar is toxic. So, I'm not sure if your husband is a diabetic. You were asking the question. But it seems to me, okay? And that's what happens. And now, I mean, you got I'm sure of it, congestive heart failure involved, okay? Now, what would you do? Well, no sugar, that's for sure. Look, it's very difficult if it's advanced, okay? But I never give up on people. I always, I think it was your husband, if he was coming into my office, I'd have him on the reset. 2, I would look for every deficiency, vitamin D, B12, omega-3. I look for deficiencies. Magnesium, very important for circulation. Okay, I have them on Navitol because it elevates the nitric oxide, opens up the blood vessels. High DHA, big time for lubrication, the blood vessels, and that kind of thing. Is there hope? Vitamin D, they're usually very low in it. Vitamin D helps everything, okay? If you're not sure, it helps everything. Okay. Somebody, like, my memory, I'm proud of myself here this morning. I don't even have any notes, but someone was asking about taking niacin, B3. Well, you guys know this, but for the new folks, okay? I have an overarching principle when it comes to B vitamins, okay? Do I think they're necessary? Absolutely, they're necessary. B vitamins are essential. But, here's the but. I want you to eat your B vitamins. When you eat eggs, meat, and cheese, and butter, you know what I mean, good dairy, you're getting all your B vitamins, including B12. Now, because of my experience with B12, because of what I know about B12, and because of all the things I'm talking to you about, B12 is another puppy. Why? Because it's a finicky vitamin. It's a large molecular structure vitamin, and the vast majority of people today, for several reasons, don't get enough of B12. And so therefore, and this has been proven, that 70-80% of the population really do not have optimized B12. Doctors don't even look for it anymore like they used to. And you know what? B12 is essential. It's a nerve vitamin. It's a brain vitamin. It's the vitamins of B vitamin. That's the most important vitamin of them all. And it ain't even close, is B12. And so that, I separate that because you got to have almost like a perfect stomach to absorb it properly from meat, okay? And you don't get B12 in the plant kingdom. There's enough for a mouse in the plant kingdom. It has to come from the animal kingdom food, especially red meat. Well, people say, well, red meat's acidic. Red meat's no good for you. Red meat, let's get rid of it. Let's eat bugs instead of red meat, right? That's what the stupidity of the world. The world's gone stupid when it comes to B12, guys, okay? And us getting into the vegetable kingdom and the plant kingdom and not the animal kingdom. It's absolute insanity, okay, in all due respect. So getting back to B3, niacin, okay? Have I used it? No. Do I recommend it? Well, not on its own. I mean, look, they talk about cholesterol and it can lower your cholesterol and it's a natural cholesterol therapy. And you know what? To some extent, yeah, okay. But I like I said, I love B3. I just want you to eat it rather than have to take it. If you want to take it as a supplement, okay, go for it. But I'm much more in tune to you eating B3. Like I just found when people, they emphasize, okay, when it comes to food on their plate, they emphasize the animal kingdom. I'm not saying only the animal kingdom. I'm not like that. For 30 days, yes. That's for metabolic syndrome. But after that, you want to eat from the plant kingdom, go for it. And I mean it. Add it. I'm not saying you can't have anything from the plant kingdom. So it's just that we got it upside down today. And the plant kingdom and the grains and whatever, they're more important than the animal kingdom. And people have been duped about that. And so they'll miss out on B3. They won't get enough of it. If you're a vegetarian or a vegan, then you need to take a B vitamins, including B12. And by the way, B12, sublingual, let it melt under your tongue. It's the best way to top up your B12, Any questions? Okay, so there was that one. And what else did I read there this morning? Oh, that bothers me, guys. You have no idea. What else did I read? There was another question there that was sort of on the tip of my... I can't remember now. Let's see if it'll come to me. Anyway, I cannot find it on my iPad, but... okay, let me see if I can... I'm going to look one more time, guys, because... what was this date here? I'm going to go this. Okay. One more time. Can't remember. I'm way back into 2025, and I can't get myself up forwarded. And I bet you if 99% of you were here, you'd be able to do it. I know it was on my phone, but anywho, okay, hold on. I see another thing come up here. Let me see. I don't think I can do it, but of course not. Nope. Guys, I can't remember the other questions. I'll have to go through them. There may be a few more. I don't think there was many more. But if someone wants to put... if you have a question and I can read it on the scroll, okay, I'd be happy to do it. Okay. Guys, sorry for this. What are you going to... you're dealing with... several times a day, what do? I pull out my senior card, okay? And Sherry's saying, thanks, Dr. Martin, for today's session. Well, I feel like I've blown it, but what do you want me to do? I just, okay, let's call it, because I'm not seeing any questions that have come up. Somebody saying, no, I asked a question, you haven't answered it yet, and scroll it, but I don't see it, okay? Okay, Trish, you guys are very patient. Anywho, okay, we love you guys. And, okay, don't give myself a migraine. Okay, we love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.